What if the world's greatest treasure was right in front of you, but to steal it, you had to outsmart not only the police, but also the mafia, politicians, and fellow thieves? Would you take that risk? Today's story is about a thief named Parker who gets trapped in a mission where everyone is double-crossing someone else. Behind every friendship lies greed, betrayal, and a secret plan. But the biggest question is this: does anyone actually get their hands on the treasure that so many people are willing to die for? Or does everything end in disaster? The name of the film is Play Dirty. Hello friends, I'm Sam, and you're watching Know the Story Global. Before starting the video, I have a small request. If you're new to this channel, then please do subscribe. The story begins with two thieves, Parker and Philly. Their partner Stan is also with them, and the three are arguing about something. Just a short while ago, they had robbed a horse racing cash counter where all the race earnings were stored. During the robbery, Stan wanted to shoot the supervisor, but Parker and Philly believed that spilling blood during a theft without reason was foolish. A little later, the three return to the counting room, where the rest of their gang has already taken everyone hostage. With the supervisor's help, Parker gains access to the vault and fills a bag with all the cash stored inside. Meanwhile, a man happens to drive past the building with his wife and child. He immediately notices two unfamiliar vehicles parked outside and becomes suspicious. When he peeks through the back entrance, he realizes a robbery is in progress. His wife urges him to call emergency services, but he has something else in mind. He retrieves a pistol from his car and waits outside for the thieves. The moment the gang exits the building, he opens fire. One gang member is killed on the spot, and Philly is shot in the shoulder. Amid the chaos, one of the cash counter employees grabs a bag full of money and attempts to escape. Immediately, Parker chases him and fires several shots. However, by then, the man has already started his car. Surprisingly, his wife and son are also sitting inside. At the same time, a horse race is underway at the nearby racetrack. Losing control of his car, the man drives straight onto the track. The entire race is thrown into chaos as frightened horses scatter in every direction. The man then gets out of his car and tries to aim at Parker, but Parker calmly fires a headshot from a distance and kills him instantly. After the man's death, Parker retrieves the bag of cash from his wife. However, he feels guilty that an entire family has been destroyed over money. Perhaps because of this, he gives the woman $10,000. Shortly afterward, Philly and Jen arrive at the racetrack in a car to pick Parker up, and the gang leaves the area. Their first priority is treating Philly's injury. Once that's done, they begin preparing to divide the stolen money among themselves. But suddenly, everything changes. Jen slowly removes her jacket. Everyone watches her in confusion. The next moment, she pulls out a hidden pistol and begins firing without warning. The room erupts with gunfire. In this brutal betrayal, Parker's closest friend, Philly, is killed. Parker himself is wounded, but he refuses to give up. He grabs a pistol from the table, smashes a window, and jumps out. As he escapes, a bullet strikes him, and he falls into the river below. Meanwhile, Jen takes possession of the entire loot and disappears. The story then shifts to a man named Kincaid, who arrives at the office of his boss, Mr. Lorzini. Kincaid informs him that the names of those involved in the racetrack robbery have surfaced, and Parker's name is among them. The moment Lorzini hears this, his expression changes. He wants to handle the investigation personally, but Kincaid assures him that he can manage the matter alone. What connection these men have with Parker will be revealed later. On the other hand, Parker somehow survived after falling into the river. Struggling to shore, he eventually reaches a hospital and receives treatment. Afterward, he checks into a hotel. At the reception desk, he specifically requests room number 12. Unfortunately, the room has already been booked, so he is assigned another one. Parker doesn't seem bothered. As soon as he gets the opportunity, he secretly enters room 12 anyway. Inside, he breaks open a partition in the wall and retrieves a hidden bag concealed behind it. The bag contains a pistol and several essential items that he had stashed there long ago. After recovering the bag, he pays the hotel bill as well as the repair costs for the damaged wall and leaves. His next stop is the home of Grace, who is Philly's wife. The moment Grace sees Parker, she asks about her husband. Parker's expression tells her everything. She immediately realizes that Philly is dead. Devastated by the news, she breaks down. Parker tells her the truth that a woman named Jen betrayed the entire gang and murdered Philly. He then asks Grace for help in finding Jen.
Grace gives him the name of Raji Riley, who may have important information. She also makes Parker a promise that he will avenge Philly's death. Parker assures her that he will not rest until he settles the score for his friend's murder. To continue his investigation, Parker contacts an old friend named Alan Grofield and obtains Raji Riley's address. Raji is no ordinary man. He's a wealthy businessman. One day, as he approaches his car, he is shocked to find Parker sitting in the driver's seat with a pistol pointed directly at him. Raji immediately asks where his driver Jimmy is, but Parker ignores the question and demands information about Jen. At first, Raji refuses to cooperate. However, when Parker fires several shots into a glass object nearby, fear takes over and he spills everything. He reveals that Jen is hiding in an under-construction building somewhere in the city. He also reveals that Jen once served in La Paz's elite commando unit known as the Death Squad. At that very moment, Parker notices several vehicles following them. When he mentions this to Raji, panic spreads across Raji's face. Before either of them can react, Jen's men ram their car with tremendous force. For a moment, it seems as though both Parker and Raji had been killed. But when one of the attackers approaches the wrecked vehicle, Parker suddenly shoots him dead. The remaining attackers continue firing relentlessly. During the shootout, poor Raji is killed. Using cover, Parker eliminates the attackers one by one. He then frees Jimmy, who had been tied up inside a vehicle. Jimmy joins the fight and starts firing back, but he too is eventually shot and killed. When the gunfight finally ends, only one attacker remains alive. Parker captures the wounded man, steals another car, and drives away with him. Meanwhile, Jen is meeting a man named Bosco. Jen is trying to obtain information about a particular operation. Bosco bluntly tells Jen that if he reveals everything, Jen will kill him immediately. Jen responds with a philosophical speech about how the criminal world runs on trust.
Their conversation is interrupted when Parker suddenly arrives. Pointing a gun at Jen, he demands the return of his stolen money. Jen explains that all the money has already been invested in a mission. Just then, Bosco reaches inside his coat. Parker reacts instantly and shoots him. Bosco collapses and Jen becomes furious because she still needed Bosco alive. Jen repeats that the money has been invested in a major operation. Before she can explain further, Bosco unexpectedly rises and starts shooting again. This time, Parker shoots him in the head and kills him for good. Parker insists on hearing the truth. Jen initially tells him a story about a bank robbery, but Parker quickly realizes she's lying. After being caught in two separate lies, Jen finally reveals the truth. Off the coast of La Paz, a long-lost sunken ship containing an enormous treasure has been discovered. The treasure is worth more than $1 billion. However, the country's president, Ignacio, wants to keep the treasure for himself rather than use it for the public good. His plan is to recover the treasure, display it at the United Nations headquarters in New York, and then stage a fake robbery to make it disappear. For this operation, he hired a local criminal organization known as the Outfit. After the fake theft, the gang would receive only a small share, while the president would secretly keep the rest. Jen and a few of his allies want to stop this corruption. Therefore, he offers Parker a partnership. Putting their past conflict aside for the moment, Parker agrees to join the mission. After this, Jen introduces Parker to Colonel Ortiz. Ortiz is a patriotic colonel from La Paz who wants to stop the president's scheme and ensure that the treasure is used for the benefit of the country. In exchange for his help, Parker demands a 30% share of the treasure. At first, Colonel Ortiz refuses, but Jen convinces him that a professional thief like Parker is essential for the success of the mission.
Ortiz's original plan is to steal the treasure directly in front of the United Nations building. However, Parker argues that attempting a robbery at one of the most secure locations in the world would be nothing short of suicide. Instead, Parker proposes a different strategy. He suggests letting the Outfit gang carry out their staged theft and transport the treasure first. Then, Parker's team can intercept and rob them during transit, which would be much easier. After the meeting, Grofield asks Parker which gang he intends to rob. The moment Parker mentions the Outfit, Grofield's face turns pale. That's when we learn that Lozini is the boss of the Outfit and Kincaid is his partner. Parker has a long and dangerous history with both of them. Grofield cannot believe that Parker is willing to challenge Lozini again. Nevertheless, Parker assigns him the task of keeping an eye on Kincaid. Meanwhile, Parker and Jen head off to meet one of Bosco's associates. Parker does not fully trust Jen. Therefore, when Jen enters the nightclub owned by Bosco's friend, Parker secretly follows him inside. By now, the entire robbery plan has been prepared. Parker's strategy is simple. Once the Outfit loads the treasure onto a train, Parker's team will seize control of the railway control room and increase the train's speed. At a sufficiently high speed, the train will derail and crash. During the resulting chaos, they will seize the treasure for themselves. After finalizing the plan, Parker checks in to his favorite hotel. This time, luck is on his side because room number 12 is available. The manager recognizes him and immediately hands over the key. However, when Parker enters the room, he is surprised to find Jen already there. While telling stories about the treasure from the sunken ship, Jen subtly tries to seduce Parker. Suddenly, the door opens and Mateo enters. Mateo is Jen's bodyguard and is secretly in love with Jen. The moment he sees Parker in the room, he loses his temper and punches him so hard that Parker is knocked unconscious. When Parker wakes up, he finds himself tied up in an isolated location where Mateo and his men are torturing him. Mateo openly reveals that he plans to hand Parker over to the Outfit gang. Hearing this, Parker warns him that if the Outfit discovers Jen and his people are involved in the operation, none of them will survive.
But Mateo has his own plan. He intends to abandon Parker there and flee before the Outfit arrives. At that moment, the sound of approaching vehicles can be heard. Mateo sends his men to investigate. Parker immediately warns him that the people arriving are extremely dangerous. He says if he frees him, they can fight them together. A few moments later, screams echo from outside, and Mateo realizes Parker was telling the truth. Left with no choice, he unties him. Meanwhile, Jen traces their location and arrives at the scene. Furious, Jen scolds Mateo for his stupidity and tells him that if he had not arrived in time, the entire operation could have been ruined. Suddenly, one of the attackers launches a surprise attack from behind. Parker eliminates him in an instant. Relieved that his life has been saved, Mateo emotionally moves forward to hug Parker, but Parker quickly grabs him and pulls him in front of himself. At that exact moment, another shooter opens fire from a distance. Every bullet hits Mateo, killing him instantly.
Afterward, a Jen draws his weapon and kills the shooter. Soon after, a phone rings on one of the attackers. Parker answers the call. On the other end is Lozini. The moment he hears Parker's voice, Lozini immediately knows who he's speaking to. This conversation reveals the truth about their old rivalry. Years ago, Parker helped Lozini by killing his boss, which allowed Lozini to become the leader of the outfit. However, once Lozini gained power, he began viewing Parker as a threat. The two men had once agreed never to interfere in each other's business. But now, Parker is directly targeting an outfit operation. Enraged, Lozini threatens that Parker's corpse will be lying in the street before sunrise the next day. He also reveals something shocking. The outfit has moved its operation forward by 1 day. The treasure will not leave the United Nations office tomorrow. It will be moved tonight. The news completely shocks Parker. He immediately calls Grofield and warns everyone. The moment Parker's message reaches them, the entire team springs into action. Ad and Branda head straight for the railway station. On the way, Grofield punches a man, steals his motorcycle, and races toward the station at full speed. Meanwhile, Stan steals a truck and joins the mission. At the station, Ad and Branda inform the operators that a man named Glasscock intends to hijack the station. In reality, Glasscock is one of their own team members, and the entire situation is part of a prearranged act. As soon as the operators become alarmed, Glasscock pulls out a gun and pretends to take everyone hostage. The operators call Ad and Branda for help. The two rush inside, knock Glasscock unconscious, and make it appear as though the threat has been neutralized. But in the very next moment, Ad and Branda pull out their own weapons and take the operators hostage. Only then do the operators realize that the real game has just begun. Meanwhile, Parker and Jen are also on their way to the station. As soon as Ad and Branda seize control of the control board, they begin increasing the train's speed. The members of the outfit aboard the train have no idea what is happening.
At the same time, Grofield reaches the station area. Because of the snow, his motorcycle skids and crashes. Even so, he refuses to give up and runs toward the railway tracks. Following Parker's instructions, he destroys a trip switch, the mechanism responsible for directing train tracks. However, one problem remains. The train still is not moving fast enough to derail. Parker and Jen are waiting at the first curve where the crash is supposed to happen, but the train passes through safely. Now they only have one final opportunity, the next curve. Grofield immediately rushes toward the second trip switch. At that exact moment, Stan arrives in his truck and accidentally crashes into him. Grofield is thrown to the ground. The moment he regains consciousness, he pulls out his pistol and repeatedly fires until the switch is destroyed. Meanwhile, Parker and Jen reach the second curve. But when they arrive, they realize the curve sits at a dangerously high elevation. If the train crashes there, the destruction will be catastrophic. And then it happens. The train derails and plunges off the tracks. Within seconds, the entire area is devastated. Parker narrowly escapes death by reversing his vehicle into a nearby store. After the crash, one of the outfit members lands directly on their vehicle. Once everything becomes quiet, Parker and Jen rush toward the treasure container and force it open. But what they find leaves them stunned. The container is filled with nothing but rocks.
At that moment, they realize that Lozini has completely fooled them. However, their troubles are far from over. While Parker and his team are still trying to understand what happened, several outfit gunmen arrive and open fire. After a fierce battle, Parker and his allies barely survive and escape in a vehicle. Unfortunately, their tire bursts during the getaway, and they end up trapped right in front of the police. It seems like everything is over. But just then, Stan arrives in a stolen police car and crashes into the police vehicles blocking the road, creating an escape route. Thanks to him, they manage to get away. At this point, everyone's morale is shattered. Every member of the team feels defeated. Even Jen believes the mission has no future and begins packing to leave.
but Parker stops everyone. He still has one final plan. He reminds them that among the treasures recovered from the sunken ship was an extremely valuable statue called the Lady of Arancio. The statue alone is worth nearly $500 million. Parker believes that if they can obtain the statue, they can still secure an enormous payoff. First, however, they need to discover who the new buyer is, and according to Parker, only one man knows the answer: Kincaid, Lazzini's partner. To get information from Kincaid, Parker devises an elaborate scheme. He sends Grofield, disguised in a mask, to the rooftop of the hospital where Kincaid is being treated. According to the plan, Grofield pretends to be a distressed man preparing to jump from the roof. His dramatic performance is intended to create the perfect opportunity for Parker's next move. As soon as one of Kincaid's bodyguards goes up to the rooftop to investigate the situation, Parker quietly knocks him unconscious. Then they put a mask on the unconscious guard and throw him off the roof so that everyone believes he was the one who jumped. After that, Parker and Grofield disguise themselves as police officers and head straight to Kincaid's hospital room. The moment the door opens, the second bodyguard is also taken down within seconds. Now, when Kincaid sees Parker standing in front of him, all the color drains from his face. And when he learns that one of his bodyguards has supposedly been thrown off the roof, he becomes so terrified that he faints on the spot. Left with no choice, Parker begins questioning Kincaid's girlfriend instead. Surprisingly, she possesses complete information about the buyers. She reveals that a billionaire businessman named Phineas Paul is the man planning to purchase the statue. The moment Parker hears this name, he immediately sets out to find him. A short while later, Parker arrives at a restaurant where Phineas Paul is enjoying dinner with a friend. Parker asks him about the statue, but Phineas responds by showing off his wealth and influence, threatening Parker and demanding that he leave immediately. However, Parker is not the kind of man who gets intimidated. Right in front of everyone, he shoots Phineas's friend. Terrified, Phineas loses his confidence. Moments later, he is kidnapped and thrown into a van where Parker's entire team is already waiting. With no other option left, Phineas finally tells the truth. He reveals that the Lady of Arancio is being stored inside a secret vault located in the Greenbrook area. According to him, breaking into that vault is nearly impossible. After obtaining the information, Phineas is locked away in a secret location, and Stan is assigned to guard him. Meanwhile, Parker and Grofield waste no time and head straight toward the secret Greenbrook vault. After reaching the vault, they successfully bypass security and plant explosives according to their plan. Within moments, the vault is opened, the statue is loaded onto a trolley, attached to a vehicle, and the team quickly escapes with it.
Meanwhile, Stan is supposed to be guarding Phineas, but true to his careless nature, he spends his time smoking cigarettes and drinking heavily until he falls asleep. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Phineas cuts through his restraints and escapes. He flags down a passing car, borrows a phone, and immediately calls Lazzini. The moment Lazzini learns that Parker's team has stolen the statue, he is stunned. Without wasting any time, he gathers the outfit gang and begins chasing them. The outfit's vehicles quickly catch up and a massive gunfight erupts. Grofield drives into a forest trail while Parker jumps from the moving vehicle directly onto the trolley. From there, he returns fire and blows one of the enemy vehicles into the air. But as soon as they leave the forest, disaster strikes. Their vehicle crashes into a road barrier, launching Parker through the air and straight into a building. He crashes into a bedroom but still refuses to stop. After escaping from the shocked residents inside, he runs back outside and catches up with the trolley. Meanwhile, the chain pulling the trolley begins to loosen. Losing his balance, Parker crashes to the ground once again. At that moment, Jen arrives in another vehicle and immediately opens fire. Together, they eliminate several members of the outfit gang. However, their troubles are not over yet. As Grofield continues driving, the trolley chain completely snaps. The statue separates from the vehicle, allowing the outfit gang to seize it. With no other option, Grofield is forced to retreat. Luzini's men deliver the statue directly to Phineas, but the moment he examines it closely, his face turns pale. It isn't the real statue. It is only a duplicate. Furious, Phineas immediately contacts President Ignacio. The president wastes no time and calls Luzini, accusing him of betrayal. But the real mastermind behind everything is Parker. The truth is that Parker and his team never even touched the real vault. They had secretly placed a duplicate statue inside a fake vault and staged the entire operation. Stan pretending to be drunk was part of the act. Grofield intentionally loosened the chain. Every detail had been carefully planned so that the outfit gang would end up stealing the fake statue. While everyone was focused on the counterfeit, Parker's team had already reached the real vault.
This time, when the explosives destroy the wall, the genuine Lady of Arancio statue is finally revealed. But before they can remove it, Luzini and his gang arrive. They capture Stan and hold him hostage, forcing Parker to surrender. By now, Luzini has figured out Parker's entire plan. Parker simply smiles and tells him to look closely at the statue. Luzini notices that wires have been attached all around it. In Parker's hand is a remote control. In other words, with a single press of a button, the $500 million statue could be destroyed. At that moment, gunfire erupts outside. Luzini assumes his men are eliminating Parker's team, but Parker reveals the truth. Earlier, he had secretly sent information to President Ignacio, making it appear as though Luzini intended to steal the statue for himself. As a result, the president's guards are now attacking the outfit gang. Luzini realizes he is completely trapped. Seeing no way out, he attempts to negotiate, but Parker refuses to listen. Then, he presses the button. A massive explosion tears through the area, and the priceless $500 million statue is blown into countless pieces. Then he finally executes Luzini himself. Before the president's guards can arrive, Parker, Jen, Stan, and Grofield escape from the scene. Although they never obtained the treasure, Parker had secretly removed several valuable jewels from the statue beforehand. Those jewels are worth between $2 and $3 million. He divides them equally among his team. Later, Parker returns to his favorite hotel and enters room number 12, where Jen is waiting for him. A news report is playing on television. It reveals that President Ignacio's corruption has been exposed. The country's treasure is being returned, and Colonel Ortiz has been appointed the new president. Jen realizes that none of this would have been possible without Parker. She invites him to return to La Paz with her, but Parker reminds her of one thing. She murdered his friend Philly. That debt still remains unpaid. Jen immediately understands what he means. Parker calmly tells her to finish her final drink. A few seconds later, a gunshot echoes through the room. Then Parker walks out. This implies that Parker finally takes revenge by killing Jen. Afterward, Parker fulfills his promise to Grace by giving her several valuable jewels as compensation for Philly's death. In the final scenes, Parker and Grofield are shown celebrating New Year's Eve together. And with that, the story comes to an end. This story teaches us that a true mastermind is someone who can turn every move of his enemies against them. Throughout the film, everyone is chasing wealth, power, and treasure. But in the end, Parker not only defeats his enemies, but also keeps the promises he made long ago. The biggest lesson from this story is that victory is not always about wealth. Sometimes true success comes from making the right decision at the right moment. Those who chase nothing but greed eventually lose everything, but those who remain loyal to their principles and honor their promises become the real winners.
So friends, if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel, Know the Story Global, for more amazing movie explanations. Your support motivates me to bring more incredible stories to you. Until the next video, take care of yourselves, and thank you for watching.